Welcome along, my name's Ben, and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw and make a tails puppet out of a single sheet of paper. Now, on this channel I design, create and show you how to make paper-based working replicas of beloved Muppets, puppets, characters and creatures. Now, they can be pretty complex to make, so in this series I'm keeping it simple and I'm going to show you how you can bring to life your favourite characters and creatures using a single sheet of paper. Now, the basis for creating all of the paper puppets in this series is my printable folding template kit, which you can grab for a small one-off payment from my online store and then use again and again and again to create your own collection of paper puppets. So let's get into it. This is how to draw and make a tails puppet out of a single sheet of paper. This is template 5 of the 9 available on my single sheet puppet building kit that you can purchase from my online store. Once we've detached the body section and trimmed the head folding template, we're going to pencil in this diagonal line based grid so you have some clear reference points to help you get the proportions right as you draw along. We're starting with the nose and then the eyes. Hopefully you can see how the grid is going to be quite useful to get the right shapes and proportions by giving you clear points where your pencil lines should bisect the grid. Look, I'm not the best artist and you can find much more accomplished drawing tutorials out there, but that isn't really what this is about. I just want to make doing this as accessible as possible for you all, especially for those of you who don't think they can draw. So I'm using grids for reference and championing the idea of working and reworking rather than trying for that perfect line each time. Here we're creating tails whiskers at the side of the face, and again at this stage don't be afraid to adjust or rework as needed. Next we're back to the eyes. We've got the irises here and then some highlights and then the pupils right in the centre of his oval shaped eyes. Then we're doing the mouth next, top corners first, and the curve is going to dip just under the template fold line. It's a nice long curve down for the mouth, which then loops back up after cresting the bottom lip fold line. Then a short curved line for the tongue, a long curved line for his chin, and add a little highlight to the nose. And that's the sketch done, ready to ink in with a biro, making any final adjustments as you go. And then once done, we're going to rub out all the pencil marks to give a nice clear image to colour in. I'm using alcohol markers and I'll share the colours I've used in the description, and hopefully here you can see which areas you need to fill in and which you don't. We do a little cutting here at the sides to delineate his whiskers, and then we'll start the folding process. As always, I like to start with the centre fold, which creates the top lip. I'm not going to show you every single fold here in detail because there's a full step-by-step video tutorial that comes with the template when you purchase it. The important thing here is to pre-score all the lines before you actually assemble it. Here I'm showing the bit that's going to fold over to create the mouth area. This is what allows you to open and close the mouth and get that sense of semi-three-dimensionality. Pulling this back gives us the chin. For these sections here, pre-scoring the folds is really important to get them nice and crisp. We're going to fold and glue this little triangular area on the front and back, as well as the tabs on the top, and they'll just fold over and glue. You want to put pressure on the glued area for a minute or so to get it well and truly bonded. Once those last flaps are folded and glued, we're pretty much there with the head, with just the ears and a tuft of hair to add on later. But first we'll score and fold the top of his whiskers. This is going to allow them to stand out a bit from the orange section above. We also need to fold back a bit of the orange section too to help with this effect. I probably could have done it better here to be honest, but hopefully you get the idea and it'll be more visible when fully folded. Now we're onto the body on the other half of the sheet of paper. We're going to draw this little grid 11.5 centimetres across by 13 centimetres in height, and that should work for both A4 and letter. Though on letter you might have to adjust his tail slightly, but I'll come to that. We'll start here with a nice oval for the body, filling the top triangular quarter. A couple of loose ovals and the side sections for the hands, and then some overlapping ovals for the socks. If you've seen my Sonic the Hedgehog one-sheet puppet, you'll see some similarities, and if you haven't seen it, do check it out. As with Sonic, the outlines of the feet are going to go right down to the corners of the grid, and then we're just going to use some nice gentle curves to create the shape of the feet. Next we're going to draw in the legs, which are just simple vertical lines going down here. For the top of the gloves, similar to the socks below, it's just two small ovals, one overlapping the other. Then the arms just come down from the shoulder area here. Now for the tails. This is going to take you outside of the grid and all the way up here. If you're using letter paper, you'll have a bit less room widthways here, but it should still work by making the tail a touch smaller. This is the front one, and then the other one is just going to poke out from behind it, with the tip of the tail a little bit lower down than the other one. As you can see, I'm doing a bit of adjustment here just to get the right shape for his main sort of body trunk. And then we're going to draw in these little tufts that he has at the very top of his chest. Then it's another slightly smaller oval to create his sort of chest and stomach area. As you can see at this stage, I'm starting to get a bit more precise with all of my pencil strokes, and we're beginning to iterate towards the best possible version of this sketch. For the fingers, we're going to do these little mini loops, which will be pretty much the same on the other side as well, as this puppet, other than his tails being on one side, is pretty much symmetrical. So while I'm sharpening the details here, I'll just share that I'm using these single sheet puppet videos to gauge what I should be making next for my next set of more complex builds. So whichever videos get the most views, or where I get loads of people saying, oh, I love this or that character, I'll be using that info to influence my next big builds. Also, let me know if you want me to make puppets of any of the other Sonic family characters, though to be fair, I do actually have a couple up my sleeve already that I'll be sharing at some time in the near future. I could probably have gone straight to the biro without doing a lot of this reworking, but I wanted to show that it can be useful to rework with a pencil, especially if you're not quite confident to start making large corrections with the biro. The biro can be pretty unforgiving, whereas with a pencil, you've obviously got time to play and adjust. There's not a lot for me to say about this section here. Really, all I'm doing is going back in and iterating and just getting the exact shapes that I really want to make the sketch as accurate as it can be. This little bit here is what's going to glue to attach the head to the body. And now we're on to the ears. We start with some basic triangles here, both roughly the same size. We'll also mark space on the page for the little third tuft of hair, which we'll come back to shortly. For the ears, we're going to give them a more rounded shape. And then we're going to add the central part of them. The ears should mirror each other as much as possible. The hair tuft is going to go just in front of his right ear. We're going to flesh out these three lines to give it a rough shape, working either side of them to create those nice three tufts that he has. So once we're more or less happy with how the sketch is looking, it's time to use the biro to ink in all the lines. And then we're going to rub out the pencil marks to leave just the biro marks and a nice strong sketch to colour in. As mentioned, I'm colouring in with alcohol markers. Finally, I've gone back over the lines with a thicker black pen to make it pop, and then of course we cut it out. Here I'm scoring a semicircular line on the ears to fold over for gluing, and folding over the mini tab on the hair tuft. Then we'll glue the ears on and stick the tuft just in front of his right ear. We're going to score the chin here, which is going to fold underneath, and that makes the attachment between the head and body look a bit neater. Next we're gluing in this strip of paper for the finger loop, just gluing at the ends. The neck tab is glued and folded over, and it attaches to the front, and then we turn it over and fold it onto the little lip at the bottom of the face template. We fold that back and then continue gluing down what's left of the tab onto the other side of the lower edge of the face template, and then apply pressure to the area for a good 30 seconds to a minute to bond it. Now we refold in the head section, put our finger into the finger loop, thumb into the bottom section, looping it onto the little tab to open and close the mouth. And that is our tails puppet made out of a single sheet of paper.